About 4 years ago, and for some of us 3 years ago, for others as much as 6 years ago, we were all excited and anxious to begin our various studies at Ghana's premier university. We believed that the degree would open up various doors to success, with some of us merely yearning to be accepted into the prestigious circle of learned individuals, whilst others dreamed of securing enough finances to take a first-class flight to famous tourist destinations, with Bali on top of the list. We all came in confident of our chances to achieve our goals due to our intelligence. After all, we are smart, aren't we? Some of the best students of our various high schools. However, we were wrong. After our first week of lectures, our spirits dropped. Where are we going with this? Some of us asked ourselves, as we observed our reading lists continuously pile up with cases and other reading materials. Confusion and agitation gripped us when we struggled for hours to find materials in the law library, only to realize that we were searching at the wrong place to begin with. As for reading and understanding complex texts and cases assigned, that was a whole other concern we were all grappled with.
From a Ghanaian Ukrainian descent, meet the young lady who made history by graduating from the University of Ghana Law School with a 3.84 GPA. The 23-year-old says, though she knew she would make a first class by her third year, she didn't expect to become valedictorian. She joins us on the August edition of the Untold.
My name is April Amanda Nutifafa Liftina Nutako. I know that that's a very long name, so most people know me as April. Some people also know me professionally as Amanda Nutako. I recently graduated from the University of Ghana School of Law with a first class and as the valedictorian of the 2020 year group. I graduated with a 3.84 GPA, which was, I think, the highest in Ghana in a school of law since 2012. So how did I start my journey? I get this question a lot of times. I actually started schooling not in Ghana, but in Ukraine. My mom is from Ukraine, so that's how I even ended up there. I was born there, and I started class 1 there. In Ukraine, everything was in Russian, so all my studies, even my daily life was filled with the Russian language, and that's how I progressed my education till class 4 thereabouts, when I came back to Ghana with my dad and my mom. I went to Christ the King International School. And of course, the language was, I think, one of my biggest issues, aside cultural differences and other things related to that. I struggled a lot with English, with even talking to my peers, basic things. But I was able to overcome these challenges because I love reading. So I read a lot in English and I watched a lot of movies in the English language, including, of course, news channels like BBC, the basics, which are usually recommended to us. To watch in order to improve our English, and that really helped me. So by class 6 I was more or less fluent in English, but then I had to go back to Ukraine again because of my parents. So I went to Ukraine for a junior high school. That was about 4 years, and I came back to Ghana for senior high school, and I went to senior high school in a small private school at North Legon here in Accra. It's called the Masters School. I couldn't go to a public or government senior high school because I didn't write my BC in Ghana. I didn't have any exam results. Even my English then again was not the best because I hadn't spoken English in about 4 years since I stayed in Ukraine. So that was another tough time in my life. I had to sort of come back in terms of my mindset and the language and the people and all of that to the Ghanaian. I had to come back to the Ghanaian scene.
Despite the many challenges, she persevered in her studies and success was her reward.
Overall, I was able to do very well in senior high school. I studied a lot, so I think one of the most driving factors that I had was the fact that in general, based on my personality, I'm a very ambitious and, should I say, driven person. I like to do the best that I can in whatever it is that I'm doing. So it doesn't even have to be academics, it can be extracurricular activities or anything else that I just embark to do. I always want to do the best that I can do without even comparing myself to other people. So if I know I can do better, then why not just try? And with that mindset, I was able to take the NOVDEC examinations before my scheduled WASI. So in 2015, I wrote the NOVDEC, even though I was supposed to actually take my WASI in 2016. And in the NOVDEC, I was able to get 6 A's and 1 B. Then I improved on those grades in my WASI. I had a B3 the other time, so in my WASI, I was able to get 7 A's and 1 B2. And with those grades, I applied to the University of Ghana School of Law and I got in. I got in to study law. You know, a lot of people ask, is it true that law is such a challenging or difficult course, and you know, questions along that same line? And yes, that's very true. Law was a very challenging course. It takes up a lot of your time, it takes up a lot of your energy, a lot of your effort. You have to put in a lot of effort in order to do well. And I did all of that. I can say that the first year was the toughest of all for me. I was completely confused. I didn't have any support really. My school, my SHS was a very small school. So in my class at the university, I didn't even have any friends. When I came, some people were already in groups, they knew each other and all that, but I didn't know anyone. So it was quite a tough time, but I was able to adapt. I spoke to some of the seniors who really helped me out. You know, I was able to make my own connections at Legon. And, you know, with time I got better. I got much better, and I think by my fourth year, I already knew I was going to get a first class. I had no idea that I was going to make valedictorian. I wasn't even thinking of that at that time. I just wanted to graduate well and finally be done with Legon, especially in this coronavirus sort of period. A lot of us even started losing hope. You know, we were wondering, would we even graduate this year? What are we going to do and all that? And luckily with the online examinations, we were able to finish our course lines, and so we were able to graduate online. And yes, I was able to graduate first class, and I became the valedictorian of the 2020 year group, which was quite a surprise to me. It was, of course, a pleasant surprise, but I didn't see it coming.
Though there was stiff competition in class, Amanda said she didn't pay attention to that and only concentrated on bettering her grades every new semester. When it comes to competition, it's just about my mindset really, I think, because I never really compared myself to other people. There was competition, no doubt. And the thing is that there were, I think, 2 people who I was just, deliberating. One of them has to make valedictorian. I didn't think it would be me. I had no problem with that. My goal was just to do well in school and be done with it, to get the degree and to move on in life. So yes, there was competition, but I wasn't really directly involved in it. So I didn't, actively try to, let's say, challenge people. If I disagreed with something, we would talk it out, especially in tutorials and all that. But I never actively, competed with other people. I was just trying to get a better grade than I got last semester, for example, or yesterday if we had a test or something like that. For a young woman who is used to excelling in her academics, getting a C+ in her exams is nothing to be celebrated.
I never got anything below a C+. So a C+ to me was a disappointment. I had a C+ in public international law, which definitely made me feel, quite downhearted, but because of that, I decided to take my long essay in a topic that was related to public international law because I wanted to improve the grade. And the thing is, I actually liked the subject, so I'm not really sure where I went wrong or whatever, but I definitely improved on that. So I took it up again and I said, okay, so for my final year, I'm taking my long essay in this. I just want to show that I do have a general understanding, a good general understanding of public international law. And I was able to get a B+, so I improved.
We will be back shortly to continue the conversation. Stay tuned.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you are denying funny face. It's not my brother. Today you are denying funny face. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Welcome back. We've been spending time with April Amanda Nutako, valedictorian of the 2020 graduating class of the University of Ghana Law School. Many who have come across Amanda think of her as unfriendly, but she explains she's very reserved and kept a very small circle of friends when she was in school.
There definitely was having fun, but in general, I'm a very reserved person. So I don't have a large group of friends, you know, who we go out with or anything like that. But I did go to a couple of hall weeks, spent hall week, for example. So yes, I did do, a bit of that. I'm not really a party person. So in terms of my free time, I did a lot of traveling, with my family members, my sister and some friends. But again, it was a small group of people. So no, I didn't have like a large squad that, I could sort of do fun stuff with. Yeah, but overall, I had a good connection with my mates, but it was more on a professional level. So schoolwork, we were talking academics most of the time. Some traveling, going to hall week here and there. Overall, yeah, that was it.
For someone who graduated not only with a first class in law but was valedictorian, many will think Amanda will immediately take the next step that will get her closer to her dreams of becoming a lawyer. But she has other plans.
So for now, I want to do my national service. I'm thinking of expanding my horizon a bit. Not that the law is not important or it's not something that I want to do. I definitely want to be, I want to find myself in the legal field in the future. But for now, I want to do just a bit of an expansion. I want to do some business, specifically marketing. And I'm hoping to do my national service in that field. Later on, I would probably go to the School of Law, that's Makola, commonly called Makola. Yes, so, and then I would qualify as a lawyer. And overall, I would like to teach, so I would have to get my master's, hopefully an LLM, that's a master's in law, in human rights and environmental law, and then become a professor of law. Those are my long-term plans.
She tells us that to avoid being distracted in school, she had to kick some people out of her life.
My greatest distraction in school would have been other people. So other people imposing their opinions on you, or peer pressure sort of thing, like, oh, you are like this, you are like that, you are too uptight. I've been called uptight quite a number of times. I'm not, the freest, most amicable person out there, and I'm quite strict. So in terms of other people's, opinions, peer pressure, that sort of thing, it was quite a distraction for me. A lot of voices, a lot of things. Legon is a very big school, so you get to encounter a lot of different kinds of people. And what you just have to do is prioritize, what is the most important thing to you. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, so this person who is sort of becoming my friend is kind of taking me on the wrong path, I'm not saying that having fun is bad. I'm not saying that going out to parties and all of that is bad. Not at all. I think to each his own. For me, it wasn't necessarily the best way to go. So I just, distanced myself from the person. I just evaluated it and I was like, pros and cons. Is this person going to bring value to my life? And in fact, where is this person leading me to? And I made the right decisions. I did take out some people from my life who weren't contributing to my growth and just to my mental well-being, to be completely honest. And it helped me. I kept the best people by my side. And I'm even proud to say that two of my closest friends in class also graduated with a first class. We sat next to each other, and we sort of had a small study group together. And we all excelled. So I think the company you keep is the most important, one of the most important things in university as well.
How does she deal with criticisms and discouragements?
I've never had people outright telling me that law is not a field for women, or I shouldn't be in the legal profession or anything like that, no. But I have had people tell me that, I don't speak the way a woman should speak, I'm too harsh, I'm too outspoken, I'm too ambitious, all those sorts of things, and that it's not for a woman to be like that, that, you have to be soft, you have to be gentle, even if you are arguing or making a point, you can't come to the level of a man. I've heard all that. Honestly, I just do my thing. I try to be respectful, of course, that is important. You know, you can't be rude or mean just because you want to prove a point. But on the other hand too, I always stand my ground. So if I'm being, you know, criticized in a way that I truly think is not objective, you know, I just stand my ground and I say, yes, I understand what you're trying to say, but unfortunately I just don't agree. So there is always a way, you know, to sort of go about it, you know, and to tell people that, yes, this is my personality and I don't want to be apologetic for who I am. And it has really helped me, you know, it has really helped me because, yes, being a lawyer or being a law student is about how you are making your points. It's about how you speak and how confident you are and how loud your voice is sometimes, how you can play on people's emotions. Yeah, so I don't have anything to be apologetic for. I just do my best, I try to be respectful and I move on.
Amanda has great appreciation towards her family for their support.
If it wasn't for my family, I don't think I would have been able to get anywhere, to be completely honest with you, especially my dad. He has been my biggest supporter. And, you know, sometimes it's so sad. I have some friends whom I don't want to say, you know, that their family members have not been the most supportive in terms of their goals, in terms of their dreams. But I just want to say that the role that your parents play in your life is very, very important. Because my dad has never stifled me. Whenever I tell him something, you know, Daddy, this is what I want to do, we sit down and we have an objective conversation about it. This is what you want to do. How do we accomplish that? This is the school that you want to go to. Why do you want to go to the school? Let's talk about it. My dad has never imposed his views on me. He has never imposed his dreams on me. His mindset has always been that, okay, this is what you want to do. And obviously, if this is what you want to do, you do your best to excel in it. So let me give you a chance, you know. And he has always encouraged me. You know, he has been there for me, not just financially, which is, of course, one of the most important things. If it wasn't for my dad, I mean, where would I really be today? But he has also supported me emotionally, psychologically. Yeah, if it wasn't for my family, I don't think I would have made it, honestly.
She encouraged the younger generation to focus on their strengths and not compare themselves with others.
You know, I don't want to say that grades are not so important, but I definitely do think that, you know, there are other things which we should be striving to be. What I'm just trying to say is that you should try your best in school, of course, to get the best grades that you can get. But overall, that might not necessarily prove that you're going to be the best in the workplace, or that you are the most intelligent person in the class, or that you are the most intelligent person wherever it is that you are. I think that having very good grades definitely proves, at least in law, definitely proves that you are hardworking, you are disciplined, and you put in a lot of effort. Just focus on yourself. And what I mean by that is, don't be looking at other people and be comparing yourself, you know, to, let's say, the smartest person in your class or somebody who talks a lot in class and all that. We all have our own strengths. So I just want to advise you to focus on that. So let's say you are a resilient person, you know, you can really take criticism. How about linking with people who are, let's say, past students, and then asking them to criticize your work for you so that you can improve? Just focus on your strengths and try to use that as an advantage to do better in class, or to do better in your academics, or to graduate well, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Don't try to compete with other people. Focus on yourself, think about yourself, and try as much as possible to be better tomorrow than you were today. Not comparing yourself to other people and trying to outsmart them. Everybody has their strengths, so focus on yours.
Join us in September for another inspirational story on The Untold.